Hey, all right, we're starting, and we're back. That's great, and Jared's back. So, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. so, there's some things I want to talk about that actually I didn't feel we got to really mention last time. It went pretty fast. But before I do that, we want to talk about our, well, not our, but Nintendo's latest news that they've released, which of course is the
3DS XL.
right. First of all, I gotta say, that little like special video they put out seemed really poorly done to me. It
Which
was
one?
really lame. The one where it's like Reggie talking about it and sending it over to different people. It was basically like, hey, here's some stuff we wanted to talk about at E3, but we ran out of time and we're just now putting it on video.
Oh yeah, and they made a statement as well as to why they didn't mention it at E3. But I'm like, okay, E3 is like your biggest show of the year. It's like the biggest show of any gaming industry, of the whole gaming industry. It's like you might as well just mention it there.
I just figured they
like tack on another hour.
I just figured they ran out of time, like it wasn't ready, the information wasn't ready yet or something. But it seemed lame, and the audio sync seemed like it was off on that video too. I don't know, maybe
You know
it's
what?
just
You know
me.
what was even funnier was how Miyamoto just said like 7 days ago,
Right.
before they announced it, was like, yeah, we're not going to work on another redesign. We're just going to work on the successor to the 3DS.
Right.
It's like I feel like I'm satisfied with the design.
The blatant lie.
It's funny how companies do that.
Well, here's the thing though. It's not like it's going to replace the original
No.
3DS. It's just going to be another option
Yeah.
because if it was like a 3DS Lite, that would be
Right.
Well, if you think about it, the XL actually, I mean, if you were thinking from perspective of not having either, that one's the better deal. If you really think about the XL,
if you don't care about portability.
Yeah, and if you didn't get the ambassador program,
I mean, you're talking about the screen size.
yeah,
right?
screen size and battery life.
Yeah,
I
that is
remember.
true.
Yeah.
It's a bigger screen, but it's the same resolution, so you're going to have much bigger pixels.
Really?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same screen resolution. So it's still 400 by 240, which
So-
is kind of pathetic.
So yeah, it is. So it sounds like you already answered the question I was going to say, because we already talked pretty negatively about the DSi XL in one of our past episodes. So I was saying, what do you think how good is this one? You know,
Well, it's nice because it's 4.88 inches on the top, which
Right.
is like
Yeah.
nice, and it's almost like compares with the Vita because that's a 5-inch screen,
Mm-hmm.
and most Android phones are like 4.3-inch screens. But it's kind of sad that it's a 4.88-inch screen with 400 by 240 resolution, whereas the iPhone 4 and 4S, the 3.5-inch screens, and they have more than twice the amount of pixels, or no, more than 4 times the amount of pixels, excuse me, in their screen than on the 3DS.
yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to expect that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it was just like put together like really quickly to like throw out like another version of the system.
Maybe.
Because if you think about it, why make it in the same resolution and just make the screen
So
larger?
I think basically, it sounds like, just to keep it concise, we all kind of have the same consensus, which is
Yeah.
it's nice that it's a bigger screen for the 3D, but other than that, it's not.
And battery life.
And battery life, yeah. But other than that, it's it doesn't really.
And
battery
the
life-
Circle Pad Pro is going to be able to add battery life to
Doesn't make
the normal,
When I get it.
right?
Oh, that's right. I sent him. There's a different Circle Pad Pro, which looks a lot nicer than the one that Nintendo's actually releasing. It's like $10 more, but it also has like
Third
3
party?
times. Yeah, it's like Nyko or whatever.
Okay.
But
and
it's a good third party
Okay.
one.
yeah, and it actually adds like 3 times the amount of battery life.
Yeah, so it's like if you think about it from those who already have like a 3DS, the XL is pointless.
Yeah, especially considering it doesn't have the second Circle Pad, and I know why they didn't put it in, because then it's gonna alienate the original 3DS adopters, and then developers are gonna be confused because they're gonna be like, wait, should we take advantage of this? And then it's gonna if they did take advantage of it, it's gonna force the original adopters to get a Circle
Oh.
Pad Pro. But if they don't take advantage of it, then that analog stick's just gonna be sitting there,
Yeah, I see.
pointless.
I get it. That's interesting. All right, so I think that covers it. I think so.
Yeah.
I want to, like I said, talk about some of the E3 stuff. We talked about E3 last time very briefly, and I want to know. One thing I didn't feel we got to. I've always said is a lot of people said E3 sucked this year. We talked about it, but I don't feel that we explicitly, concisely said why did E3 suck. So we kind of ran out of time last
Yeah.
time. What actually made is a quick statement. They released a lot of information. None of it was really. It was a
None
lot
of
of
it was
third
new.
party. It was no new information. A lot of it was third party. Was that what made it suck? What made it suck?
Well, we kind of already knew about the stuff that was coming, and the thing that really sucked was that this was like Nintendo's moment to really prove that, like, what is the Wii U and why should we go out and get one? and they didn't really explain it very well.
That's
so
true.
People are still wondering, wait, what is this thing? And people are saying, like, Nintendo doesn't even know what the Wii U
Right.
is.
Like, I don't really care to play Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U.
Yeah,
and
I mean, that was like
yeah.
a big announcement. It's like, okay.
Or Assassin's Creed or anything like that.
Dead Space 3.
Yeah, Pikmin, is that going to be on there?
I don't know.
Oh, Pikmin 3 is about the only game that looked interesting on
Maybe the
Wii
Mario
U.
game, but that seems like a
Yeah.
cash in just because they want to put a Mario game at launch.
Yeah, I'm like not a huge Mario fan. I think I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that I didn't beat Pikmin 1. I got stuck on the last boss and never finished it. Inspired by the new Pikmin 3, seeing it so much, I actually, a couple of weeks ago, actually last week, I went back and finally I couldn't figure it out. So I looked up how to beat the final boss. I beat him, and I finally started playing Pikmin 2. So it's like I'll be caught up.
It?
Yeah, I had a friend who gave it to me. So I'll finally be caught up by the time Pikmin 3 comes out. But I was inspired to do that, to go back and do it. Yeah, yeah. So that's. Did you ever beat either of them?
Nope. I never even played the second one.
Okay, so yeah. But yeah, so that's
I need to earn it.
yeah, exactly. So I was inspired and I did it. So that's neat. One of the things I also want to talk about was we talked a lot about Nintendo last time, but we didn't see a lot of. We personally didn't look at a lot of the other companies' games, and I went and looked at a few of the top titles from like Sony and Microsoft. And the number one consensus I had on all those games was they're really violent. Like every game was just so violent, like it was ridiculous. And everybody loves violence, but like for example, the new Splinter Cell game, it's like it's neat how they have that little like choose your targets thing, and then you go and attack them like in that order. But it's just like. It's just for the sake of showing off, like, how tough this guy is. Like, oh, look at him. He like, stabs this guy, and then he moves on. He doesn't even care. Oh, he's tough. It's like, that's not realistic. It's like, it's just like...
That's what Solid Snake does.
Metal Gear, awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, like...
Metal Gear.
He'll be like, speak. And then if you don't, then you...
Yeah, I know. That's the whole thing. It's like soldiers don't do it. It's like they do. It's like, and then they come back with PTSD, which is really sad. But it's like, I don't know. It just seems like people are a little too bloodthirsty these days in every game. Like,
it's funny, like even Warren Spector came out and was like, the ultra violence in these games has to stop.
Yeah, I think it does. And the worst of which was Tomb Raider to me.
Oh, really?
The new Tomb Raider, they're trying to make it darker and edgier, I guess, because Tomb Raider always kind of had like a kind of farcical tone to it that people, because they thought of like Lara Croft and they thought of boobs, I guess. But
that doesn't equate to more blood, though.
But that's the problem. They tried to make it darker and edgier, but all they really did was make it more violent. I mean, in every trailer I've seen, even last year's trailer, in E3's trailer and last year's trailer, in every trailer I've seen, she's just like falling down, getting beat up, stabbed, just like, just messed up. She's like... she falls down a waterfall in the E3 trailer, then slams into a bunch of trees, and one of the other trailers she gets like stabbed in the side. It's like, it's all this just, she tries to escape from a ship and like falls, gets like beat around in there. It's like, it's just her getting beat up in every scene.
And that's not even like the general concept of what Tomb Raider was supposed to be. It's more of like an adventure game, not more like a blood and gore game.
Right, and it's like, and she's under-equipped in this one because it's a prequel, so all you really have is like a bow and arrow in the trailer, and it's like, man, this just seems misogynistic. And it's like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised go look it up, kids, if you don't know what it means. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that on purpose. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Someone in the development team's probably like a sadist or something. It's like she's just constantly getting beat up, and it's really weird because Square Enix is partnered with the company that's working on it too. So it's like,
Square Enix seems really blood.
Listen to Warren Spector.
Weird. Yeah.
No more violence. Just put bad cameras in your game.
Agreed.
You see Final Fantasy, how much blood do you see in there?
I know.
Not even that much.
Yeah, really.
There was one game that was violent, but I thought looked really neat, and that was The Last of Us, I think it was called. And it's violent, but it looks really interesting. I'm not going to talk too much about it because a lot of people already have like very varying opinions, like just questions about the game. It's pretty new, but it looks neat. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic survivor thing, and it's very cinematic. The AI looks pretty well done. It is violent. The trailer's very violent. And it's funny because like people are like cheering when he like slams this guy's head into like the desk or something like that. But I mean, I'm like, man, this crowd is bloodthirsty. But I guess, he's the hero. He's trying to win. He fight for his life, protect the little girl, whoever she is, why ever she's there. People are asking that question. But
I'll protect the little girl by bashing your head into the wall.
That's pretty much it. But it looks really neat. It looks like a neat game. And then Halo 4, what is there to say about Halo 4? I mean...
It's the fourth Halo.
And it doesn't...
Actually, it's
with
Halo
this new...
4F.
Yeah, exactly. With
Halo
this new
4S.
With this new company that's doing it, it's like, it doesn't really totally... The trailer to me looked more like Metroid Prime than Halo. It's like a lot of people agree it's kind of... Doesn't quite have that Halo-y feel. But it is... it's definitely, it's just kind of there. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I saw a comment saying that. There was like on My Nintendo News, someone was like, Metroid came out 2002. They're like, this is 2012. Nintendo was 10 years ahead of them.
They were saying it looked like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a new company. They came in and they changed everything. The number one complaint I hear, and I agree, is I really don't like the new armor. The only thing that looked neat in that trailer was how when you pick up a Forerunner gun, it like assembles itself in your hand, and that looks neat. But it's like, is that gonna that's not gonna make
extra time?
Yeah, is that gonna add extra
kill?
time to pick up a gun? And even if it
skip that animation,
even if
trigger goes
right,
boom.
exactly, or even if it doesn't slow you down, it's not gonna make me want to buy the game. But
it's neat, but it's
and
not.
and just that Forerunner guy that opens up his head and he looks like he has like a flaming skull inside there. He reminded me of the Steam Lord from Metroid Prime 3, how he has that holographic face. So it's like, I don't know, it reminded me more of Metroid than Halo. So
Remember, kids, Metroid
whatever.
came first.
Yeah, exactly. And Cortana looks more ridiculous and sounds more ridiculous than ever.
Although I have to say that Cortana and what's her name, Gondria or something like that?
Oh, Gandreda?
Yeah, Gandrea.
From
They
Metroid Prime 3?
look pretty similar.
That's a stretch, but we'll see.
Well, by like their color
I get
and
it.
stuff,
I get
yeah.
what you're saying. I know. They're both interesting. And that's all I'll say. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to say anymore. Draw whatever conclusions you want from that yourself. And then Assassin's Creed 3. I never liked Assassin's Creed. I'm sorry. I just don't care. So whatever.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So E3. Going back to some of Nintendo stuff. I have here some of the stuff we talked about with our past podcasts. About what we thought E3 would kind of bring up. They did bring up the new Pikmin. They didn't really bring up. Did they bring up Dirt at all? We talked about Dirt.
They didn't show it in the conference. I don't think. Maybe it was in a montage or something.
So they didn't really bring up. They didn't bring that up. You were talking last time about Nintendo Land.
Oh, Nintendo Land. That was like their big reveal at the end. It's like nobody wanted this.
I actually, though, now that I see it, I actually kind of think I might like to have this because it's like I said.
I would like to have it if it was bundled with the console, but I'm not going to pay another $50 to go out and buy it.
Very angry surprise.
I will wait for it to come down in price before I buy it, definitely. But it does seem nice, like if it really is online and you can walk around with your Mii and like you can see other Miis walking around who are real people, that would be fun. I would enjoy that, just because like they said, it's like if you're a lonely loser nerd who's just sitting at home and it's a Friday night, and there's nothing, no friends. It's like no girlfriend. Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go online and you're gonna hope to walk around and talk to your other fellow Nintendo buddies. So I as sad as that sounds, I can see that game being useful if they do the internet right.
Or maybe just contact you.
Well, you know what? Satoru Iwata
weird,
recently came out and was like, we simply cannot catch up to the competitors online.
Did he really say that?
He really said that because he's like, look, they've been out for a lot longer than we have. It's like,
way to shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
a
really.
company should never say that.
Well, I mean, he was.
It's like
that
saying,
day he made a lot of
this
statements,
product
and he was
won't work
like,
for you.
"Wow, Iwata's really grumpy today." Because he said the same thing. Like he was talking about the smart glass. He was actually.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Maybe he had a bad day of programming or something.
Well, here's what happened. He's talking about like the smart glass, and he's like,
Microsoft's rip off the gamepad.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, okay. He's
attempt.
like, it's nice that like in a year people are already starting to follow what we're doing. He's like, but I don't think this is good from a gameplay standpoint. He's like, because for one thing, not everybody has a tablet, so they're gonna have to invest like another $400 tablet,
Right.
and then it has no buttons on it.
Right.
So it's like, what are you gonna do? For like, okay, you can stream it to your little tablet. For what?
Yeah, it
I'd
really.
like to hold it in my house.
It looks like just a quick attempt for Microsoft to try to look like they're keeping up with Nintendo.
And this is really the problem of like people who are developing games and stuff for games now. They're making too many quick attempts. They need to like stay on one thing for a little while longer and make it better. Like how I saw that what's Pokemon Conquest or something like that. I thought it looked interesting. Then I saw the trailer and I was totally
just like
turned
me.
off by it.
Yeah, I thought it looked stupid. Then I thought it looked interesting. Then I saw the trailer and then I thought it looked stupid again.
Yeah,
So basically,
dumb.
to wrap it up, everyone should follow the Miyamoto idea, which is take your time on games.
Yes.
So once again, Miyamoto is correct on that. There's a classic old quote from that. But anyway, that he said. Anyway, so I guess that'll do it for us, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.
Bye.